So we're thinking in terms of planning, organizing, directing, coordinating, controlling. And then uh, these functions would be picked up again separately as a course. And so each could take 5 days, 10 days, and sometimes 3 months just for one area.
Okay.
So we're thinking in terms of the power and authority that people in organizations possess. And we could actually look for a definition of power and authority, in which case authority means that people, our managers, are able to get others to do things without forcing them to do it, whilst power means that they are forced. Neither um, power or authority can get people to do things if they really don't want to do it. However, when power is used or when power is implied, it means that people will value their position and will do what they're expected to do. But there is a problem, and the problem is that they might not do it quite as well as they might have done it had they done it willingly. And so the willingness through authority is going to be very, very important. And so if we think in terms of power, then power means that either threat is used or promise is made, either reward is given or punishment is given. Now, in the absence of these, then people can still do what they need to do or what is expected of them. It means that they feel impelled by other means not to expect to be punished, not to expect to be praised, not to expect to get any reward, not to yield to any promises that are made, or do it as a fear of the threat being applied. So different degrees of power. If we think in terms of the higher level, who have ultimate power, so we think in terms of the senior directors. If we think in terms of the chair, who normally would be dealing with the external environment, then they could, through the chief executive, ask, or the chief executive officer, as some organizations would refer to it. And there's a bit of a problem here, where, for example, in, I think, if I remember well, in Nigeria, the chief executive, the chief executive officer is not a major role, but a minor role. For us, it is also a minor role. In the United States, the chief executive officer is a major role, and so we call them chief executive rather than chief executive officer. So we tried to balance the interpretation there. And so they would have ultimate power, and the power is actually given out, disseminated, leased to people. So the concept of leasing is that people are able to use what they're given, the facility that they're given, the authority that they're given, the power that they're given, at the discretion of the lessor. And so the lessee's power or authority can be withdrawn at any time. And so the person at the ultimate pinnacle can do that. The people at other levels can do it to their subordinates. And so we speak in terms of the subordinates and superordinates. So we think in terms of the chief executive then, being concerned with the, I call it the ongoing and overall functioning of the organization. Now, the power and authority applies to different levels of the organization, but they also vary with different structures, as we are going to be looking at structures in a short while. And so in the level of authority and responsibility and accountability in one structure might imply a different level of power in another organizational structure. Now we're thinking in terms of the objectives. There are objective hierarchy. And so we think in terms of the organization's vision. So where do we want to go? And so we're looking at a broader view. What is a mission? We're coming down to reality. This is what we want to achieve at this time. We not only do we want to be world power or a world player, but we want to win a slice of the market. We are in the banking world, and we want to ensure that we are number one bank in Nigeria, that we are number one in the world, but that is in the future, distant future. We are working our way up. And so the vision and mission are matching. And therefore, the strategic objectives are going to be established as a result of the mission. Then the strategic objectives are going to be broken down. And so if we think in terms of the different divisions or different departments, then these are brought down to divisional level, or brought down to department level, or brought down to sectional levels. And each section leader, each department leader, each divisional leader will be ensuring that they set objectives as well to ensure that they will support the higher level objectives. In the end, what we're looking for is effectiveness. And so effectiveness can be described as the accomplishment of organizational objectives. So.
The whole what?
No, sorry. Right. So. Just trying to find a pen. Just trying to. So we've got efficiency and we've got effectiveness. And efficiency might be described in two ways. One is doing things right. And the other way that I describe efficiency is the judicious utilization of resources. By judicious utilization of resources, we're thinking in terms of we have X resource to be utilized, and we want to reduce that amount, or we want to ensure that the same resource, or the same amount of resource, and so we're thinking in terms of gains. And so all these gains will be as a result of using the resources more stringently, or putting them to better use. So we can think in terms of when the union does the bargaining, what management generally does is say, okay, we will give you what you want. However, you are going to work more effectively. And so they have to ensure that their operation is going to be in such a way that they do just what they're going to be doing, were doing before, with probably less people, or doing it at a lower cost.